Hi there guys, Sam here, welcome back to another video. You join me once again in my Mark 7 Golf R to go through a few questions that I asked you guys to ask me, which about 24 hours ago. And yeah, to go through that, and I might throw in a few other questions as well, just that I had on my mind, just to kind of help you lot out. So let's get straight into this one. So yes, welcome back to another video. I hope everyone is all well. Now, I put up a post on sort of Sunday morning, and I sort of said, 24 hours, put anything in, and I'll answer it in the video. Simple as that. Nice and easy to help you lot out. And yeah, got a few responses back from you. Could have had a little bit more to go through, but I didn't really give you that much time. So keep an eye out for my community posts and stuff like that. That's what this channel's about. If you want free advice, basically, that's all it is, to help you out based on the experience I've had. That's what this is for, really. This is the channel. It's a community channel. I love it. I hope you lot enjoy it too. And if you do like it, please like, share, subscribe. That makes a huge difference. You have no idea. Every single like makes a huge difference. So please smash that like button. It will really, really help the channel out. But yes, let's go through these questions. So I'll go through this in order and I'll put it on screen as I'm speaking. A couple of questions here from the first person who got in to put a post in. So thank you very much for that. And they ask, if you were getting a car wrap, what colour would you go for? If I was getting a car wrap, what colour would I go for? Personally, I'm not a big fan of car wraps. I think, first of all, I love my colour, so limestone grey works really, really well. That's why I bought this car. Car wraps have never massively appealed to me. I think it would appeal to me on a slightly more affordable car, so like sub £5,000. If the paintwork was really bad, wrap it, have it maybe short term. Yeah, to kind of spice things up a bit, but for long term I never really see the point of wraps. If I had to choose one, you know what, I loved the Mark III Focus RS. It was launched in a blue, but it wasn't that sky blue. It was sort of like a midnight dark blue, and it looked really great. That's probably what I'd go for, to be honest, because I thought that looked really good. But yeah, wrap's not a massively my thing, but that's what I would choose. Paint protection film and ceramic coating, I'm guessing that's, would I use any of it? I guess both are quite expensive, but I've seen great results from ceramic coating just from people off like the Golf R forums. They really do come up well. PPF obviously does offer some protection until you then have to replace it, but then it comes at an added cost to actually get it in the first place. Both of which, again, I haven't massively done, but I tell you, actually a detail on the car is something that is probably going to happen eventually, and I will share that on the channel. Yeah. Would I have them? It depends on the value of the car. PPF, not on a Golf, personally. If I had a Porsche Cayman GT4, yeah. Funny enough, I'm actually driving a 718 Cayman GT4. I reminded myself next week, so I'll be able to share my opinions on that car. So looking forward to that. So much time spent in the 981 GT4. Sadly, Porsche are a little bit iffy about filming, so I'm going to film what I can and share a review for you. And yeah, if you wanted me to do a more, actually you can see me on track driving, bug Porsche and just say, oh, let this guy show us a review of this car. That's what you can do, because they don't really respond to me because I'm just a small little YouTuber. Anyway, that aside, PPF ceramic coating, not massive my thing. Seen great results from ceramic coating. PPF obviously does protect it, but comes at an added cost. Another one was trying out launch control in the Mark 8R. Now, I have seen launch control, well, I have given it some from sort of like 10 miles an hour rolling and pelted it, and it's very quick in a Mark 8R. The owner actually did launch control next to me, and it absolutely shot off. Just about edged out a Q7 with like a huge diesel engine in it, because that car flew, which was very weird and funny. And actually on speeds and launches, if you actually watch that video, I'll put a link up above, you'll see like there's like a Jaguar E-Pace thing, just goes flying past us. Electric cars are just so much faster than these. That's what you've got to live up to. But yes, launch control I'd love to try out. I'm keeping in touch with the owner actually, and we'll see if we can get something lined up for sure to share on the channel. So thank you very much for those questions. The next question, very in-depth, so I'll have to read through this. I have a Golf R on order. I'm contemplating getting it film protected at the front end, similar to the last person. Would you consider this, or would you just go down the coatings route? Also, I drove a Clubsport for the first time yesterday, and overall I think it's better set up than the R. The steering is, or at least feels, more direct and more involved than the R. I'm seriously considering changing my order. Shouldn't be a problem as I don't have a confirmed build week anyway. What would you do and buy? So a couple of questions there, so thank you very much for those. Film protected at the front end, as I've kind of said, for a Golf, I don't think it's worth it. I know these cars are still racking up quite a lot of money at 40 grand. I know they're motorway driven, but I drove mine on the motorway. it's fine. The front end is looking great. A few stone chips here and there. It's not the biggest deal. I'm just that kind of person. I'll look after the internals of the car, you know, and obviously look after the outside. But if a stone chip's going to flick up from a lorry and crack your windscreen, you've got an excess to do it. If it dents a little bit of your paintwork, it just happens over time. So for PPF, I'm probably a no-go. However, I'd be happy to try it out if someone wanted to reach out and say, Sam, try PPF, we'll show you how good it is. But yeah, it's not really what's been happening on the channel. Would I go down the coatings route? I probably would. I do detail this car myself just with my own little products. Yeah, I've done videos on that in the past. I'll probably link it above. I use stuff like Dodo Juice, and yeah, it comes out really, really nice actually. It's just, and Sonax is really good. But nothing like, no like specific like clay bar. So this person also drove a GTI Club Sport, just kind of like I did, and drove an R as well. I actually drove them on back-to-back weeks. They've had the same thing. They've got an R on order. Would they want to go for a GTI Club Sport? I've done videos saying which I would prefer, and you know, all over the place, and it just depends on the deal, depends on the price. There's so many different aspects. I think if you want a more fun and engaging car, I think the GTI Club Sport is the way to go. But if you want such a well-rounded car that you can have for such a long period of time, I've had this car for 4 years. I absolutely love it. I want to keep it for another 4, 5, 6 years, no problem. I'll share it with you on the channel just to prove it. Absolutely love it. And the 4-wheel drive is a big part of that, because it's rained again today. I drove that Club Sport in really sunny conditions, and the R in really sunny conditions, and it was great. I can just imagine the Club Sport spinning its wheels, and it just, yeah, the front tyres wear a little bit faster as well. There's a few things that I don't necessarily like about the GTI Club Sport that I like about the R. It would depend on the, you know, the individual. What would I do if I was considering swapping it? I would say take a, you know, if you've driven them back to back, you're going to be thinking about the last car in your memory. So you're going to be thinking, oh, that GTI Club Sport was pretty good. It was a bit different. But think about what you're going to be using the car for. If you're going to be dailying it every single day, both cars, by the way, are great. You're not going to lose if you get either one. The R in the wet is a load of fun, and it rains. It rains 60-70% of the year. That's what I would go with. So in the real world, that's what I'd go for. But if I just had that special car, which I'd only really get out in the summer, probably go for the Club Sport. So would I swap it? Depends on your specific circumstances. Unfortunately, that's the best answer I can give you. But yeah, just think about what you're going to be using the car for and weigh up the pros and cons. The Golf 8R, 90% the best at everything, and 100% the best at being a daily, in my opinion, in the hot hatch world. And the GTI Club Sport, a little bit more fun, but maybe a little bit more compromised in the wet and daily ability potentially. But yeah, thank you so much for those questions there. And the final question, so sorry if you've covered this already covered this, but why did you decide to buy a Golf R over other hot hatches? Was it price, subtlety, or something else? So really great question, and a great question to leave till last actually. I test drove everything. I'm a car nut. I love all cars. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. And in 2016, 2017, we had, you know, so many amazing cars out. I drove the Mark III Focus RS, I drove the BMW M140, I drove the pre-facelift A45, I drove the facelift A45, I drove the Golf R. I was driving all the cars that I wanted to test out and were in my kind of range. And after driving them all out, do you know what I said to myself? I was like, I want the Mark III Focus RS. That car is special. I love the community feel, as you can probably gather from if you're a long-term subscriber. That's what I like. I like community feels. And I felt that Fast Fords have a great thing for it. I was in a Mark 7.5 Fiesta ST, so I knew what it was all about. The starting price was $28,995. That's when Ford released it. I was a couple of months late down the line. Ford had upped the price. Demand was so high, in fact, that you can get some low miles for basically what the owner would have paid for 5 years ago, which is crazy for those cars. And I test drove it, and I went in and sat down with the dealer, and they said 38 grand and you can have this one. And I'm not spending that, and bear in mind this is 5 years ago, this is not in today's market, and I was just like, no, that's way out of my price range. And it's just a Ford, it's just a Focus, it's still plasticky and rattly. And then the Golf R, it's just, I mean, it's so nice sitting in here. I mean, like, I can sit here and have a chat with you lot. It's a really great place to be. So yeah, it came down a bit to price and what I was actually going to be using it for as well. I didn't think the Focus RS was that much of a step up in terms of fun to my Fiesta ST. I was like, this is about the same, so why am I spending so much more on it? Whereas I didn't feel this one was quite as fun. Granted, it's an extra half a ton heavier and, you know, it's refined, put it that way. And actually I had a real sort of like swinging back moment if I made the wrong decision when I purchased it. But yeah, this car, it just came up. It was up north. It was up near Manchester. The 7.5 facelift had just come out. Someone, you know, the VW dealer, I think, underpriced it quite considerably. And I snuck in as a cash buyer and took them, yeah, you know, and just bought the car. Basically, I didn't mess around. It was 1,500 miles, and I haven't looked back, and it's just so great. And I've actually got a video coming up because I've just come back from the VW dealer and I want to share my experience with you, which yeah, I've done that on the channel before and I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, for me, and just reading again exactly what you said, you do also get like a lot of like boy racers, and sometimes you just want to chill. And I've said that before on drives, I just like to chill. And that Focus RS was really hard, really firm. So was the Fiesta ST. This passive dampers, doesn't have DCC. Get 18s if you want it to be comfortable. Oh, it's so good. Never gonna sell it. Never gonna sell it. Seriously, someone's gonna have to steal this from me, or it's just gonna have to get written off for it to part my hands. And I did it. You know, the market's hot right now. There's an opportunity potentially to sell it and not lose that much money. And I was looking back at it, I was going through all my service history, and I'd take notes of every single little thing that I do, every single place that I go with the car, and I was like, no chance. I did the same with my Fiesta ST, and I missed how I broke that by obviously part exchanging it for this. So I love it. This car will stick with me for life if it can. So yeah, that's the answer to that. But yeah, actually, to be fair, just those couple of questions from those subscribers, the viewers, thank you so much for that. I hope I've answered that in some ways to help you out, and I hope others who are watching have found it useful. And yes, stay tuned for plenty more content to come. Yeah, again, like, share, subscribe, and you'll get to see plenty more. And if you have any other questions, put them in the comments here, and I'll see if I can bring them up on a future video. Keep an eye out for my community posts, because I will do this again. I'll just post up and say, you got any questions for me? Because timing is so important, isn't it? There's no point in me doing a video when the Golf 8R has been out for 2 years or something like that. These videos are useful to people now. So if you're mind and you're sitting there going, you know, and I have had people reach out to me actually and say, Sam, I didn't know the market was hot, and I was actually able to sell my Golf R for exactly what I paid for it 8 months ago. That is really, you know, great. Well done. Thank you so much for that the video helped you out, because timing's all important. So keep an eye on my channel. It's a very active channel. It's a very community-based channel, as you can tell, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. But thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, guys.